Hi, my name is Patrick Bratelius and I'm an equity analyst here at ABG. And for the last presentation of the day, I would like to present Fredrik Kjellgren, the CEO of Kameo Sweden. The floor is yours.
Thank you very much. So first of all, thank you ABD and Introduce for being able to hosting this event despite the current situation. So thank you very much. So my name is Fredrik Kjellgren. And I'm here and I'm heading Kameo in Sweden. And I'm here today to provide a short introduction to Kameo, so what we do, especially for those of you who are new to Kameo who may have heard about us or are interested in our services. Then I would like to reiterate why we exist and what is the underlying business problem that we addresses and how it works. And of course, in a situation like this, I would also like to provide an update regarding the COVID-19 situation and the actions we have taken as a company, and also to share with you some market insights that we have gathered during the last week, talking to our borrowers and investors, and go through what happens if a loan defaults. And last but not least, talk about Kameo as an investment alternative. How you can, by investing in small and medium-sized companies, generate a passive flow of income. So I hope you will find that interesting and bear with me during this coming 20 minutes. So, Kameo. Kameo is a Scandinavian lending platform for corporate loans. So we operate in Sweden, Norway, and Denmark. And we connect investors with entrepreneurs, and we enable private and professional investors to lend money directly to small and medium-sized companies. And at Kameo, we do only secured loans. So that means that the borrowers has pledged some assets in the underlying loans, such as a property or properties. So since the start in May 2016, we at Kameo have had an average return of 9.4%. We have done more than 235 loans to date, and we have had no credit losses. But I think while we're able to offer good returns to investors, I think in situations like this, a really important thing that we do is that we support the growth and development of local entrepreneurs. So on the pictures here, you can see Kurosh, who is one of our investors or entrepreneurs that we at Kameo have supported. So here he stands in front of his latest project, where he is currently building 34 apartments outside Enköping. So this is a project that has been able to start thanks to the financing options that we at Kameo offers. So I think that is really important in times like this. So that's what we do. So why Kameo? So at the macro level first. So in 2018, the World Bank, they conducted a report where they ranked all countries in the world according to how easy it is for business to operate in a country. And on this ranking, Sweden ended up at place number 12. So that is just below some of our neighboring countries. Both Norway and Denmark scores higher, but we score higher than countries like Finland and Germany. So I guess this is okay. It could have been better, but it's not a disaster. The World Bank do however also score countries in how easy it is for company to get credit. And on this measure, Sweden scores on a shared 85th place. So this is the same place as countries like Zimbabwe, Botswana, and Chile. So this is clearly not good. This has to be better, both in normal times and of course in crisis. This is not good. And the same message is also true when you talk to companies directly. So the organization Företagarna, who represent 60,000 companies in Sweden, recently conducted a survey, and they found that 52% of the companies said it was difficult or very difficult to obtain financing for their business. And this was before this crisis. Företagarna came up with 7 recommendations. And one of these recommendations was to really encourage the use of what they call alternative finance solutions. And that include direct lending to companies from retail investors or professional investors. And that's exactly the service that we at Kameo offers. So both in normal times and in times of crisis, banks cannot help all credit-worthy companies with enough financing. So one way of looking at the world is really to see it in three segments. You will have companies that, regardless of times, regardless on the market situation, will be able to find enough financing from traditional banks. We call them fully bankable companies. But just outside that segment, you will find creditworthy companies that may be able to find some financing from a traditional bank, but not enough. And in this segment, you will find ambitious entrepreneurs who want to develop and grow the business. You may find projects that companies run that not yet meet bank requirements. And it's these type of companies that we at Kameo target. And usually also for these projects and these companies, it is possible to get good collaterals for your loan. So this is the companies that we target. So what we do at Kameo, we bring investors and borrowers together. So we allow for private and professional investors to lend money directly to companies. So as an investor, you do not lend money to Camille, you lend money directly to a single company. And what we do at Camille, we make this work. So we have built processes that can handle these kind of transactions in a cost-effective and efficient way. We administer monthly interest and repayments, and we do the credit assessment for the loans. So that's what we do. So how does it work? So at Kameo, we do corporate loans in general, but 80 to 90% of the loans that we've done are construction projects. And a typical project may look like something similar like this. So a entrepreneur may have purchased land with equity. They have maybe started the project, but they are not able to secure enough funding to really get going and get started. And they can come to us, and we can offer a construction loan, which enables the entrepreneur to get going, maybe build one house out of 5, or it could be build a demonstration building. Because once you have built something and you can actually test, you can go out and feel what it is. It's so much easier to actually sell something. And when you have sold something, you can then secure a refinancing solution from a traditional bank. Or a lot of customers also take the full funding via Kameo. So a refinancing is usually conducted either via refinancing from a traditional bank or that the whole product is being sold. So this is kind of on a schematic view how it works for a typical project. And 2 products, real products that we have done in this way is a product in Bredsand, which is outside Enköping, roughly 1.5 hours from Stockholm. We can see on the left. That's 10 apartments, and we also have done apartment in Hässelby, which is a suburb to Stockholm. And to the left is this is a project run and managed by a company called Byggvestor. So they purchased land. I think it was 4,200 square meters. They talked to the local bank, but they were unsatisfied with how the bank handled their loan application. So they instead turned to us. And we did, as we always do, we first do a credit check for the company and the people behind. And if that looks good, then we start our own credit assessment. And the credit assessment that we do at Kameo is a thorough assessment, and it's done by one of our credit analysts. So the credit analyst at Kameo will spend time really to understand the project, understand the people behind the project, understand the exit situation, what different exit route does it exist, reference project, and very importantly, also have an in-depth dialogue with the borrowers to find a good structure for the loan. And the credit assessment that we do ends up at we classify the loan according to a risk class score, which at Kameo goes from A, which is the lowest risk, to E, which is the highest risk. And the interest level correlates with the risk, so the higher risk, the higher interest rate. And if the borrowers and we are agreeing on the terms, what we then do is that we publish the loan on our platform, and you as an investor can choose which project you like. So you do not invest in a portfolio loans, you invest directly in separate loans to separate companies. So on our site, you're then able to find in-depth information regarding the loan, which is information regarding the people, regarding the project, regarding the security package that's attached with the loan, the payment plan. So all loans we do is always monthly interest payments. And of course, you can ask questions to us or directly to the company. And if you find something you like, and this is aligned with your risk appetite, you can then bid on this project. And if the project gets fully funded, your bid would then translate into a binding loan agreement directly with the borrowers. So you do not invest in Camille, you invest in this loan with that company. And what we do, we administer all the admin, so in and outgoing payments. And in case we borrow defaults on their payments, Camille will act as a representative on behalf of all borrowers, or all investors, I should say. And I also would like to stress a thing that we have done a lot lately at Kameo, and that is to divide loans into tranches. So that means this is a way for us really to manage risk, because in this section we can ensure that the product is progressing according to plan, and also that the loan is used to what it was intended to be. So this is just a view how it looks. So if you're going to use the first tranche to groundwork, we can see the groundwork been done. Then we publish the subsequent tranche. And also for borrowers, this is a good thing, because this reduces the total financing cost for the project. So this is a structure we use quite often at Kameo, and we have divided a loan in up to seven tranches. And then when a project is completed, like the case in Bredsand or in Hässelby, the project is then repaid to our borrowers. So that's what we do. I would like to shortly just provide an update regarding the COVID-19 situation. So what actions has we taken as a company, and what market insights have we gathered so far? When it comes to actions, I think the most important thing here is to mention also the preparation that goes in that we did prior to this crisis. So at Cameo, we have mapped out all our critical business processes and documented them well. We have also ensured that all critical processes can be performed by multiple individuals in our company. And since we are operating in 3 countries, many of these key processes can also be performed by people in different countries. And also when it comes to structure and infrastructure, we have ensured that we can work remotely if needed. So we can access critical business systems from remote if needed. So when this crisis happened last week, really took off last week, in Sweden at least, we decided on Wednesday to start working from home. And that was really a decision to focus on the safety of our people first. And also that we as a company take our responsibility in this crisis. So we took that decision on Wednesday, and then on Thursday we were starting to work from home. And in that setting, I think it's very important that we provide a structure. So now we have more kind of frequent daily meetings with every team member to ensure they also have a structure and feel that we are in this together. And when we have set this up, we then started to really execute on our crisis communications plan, which is involved getting in contact with all borrowers to ensure they also are doing well and ask how are they doing, what risk do they see, etc. And also start communicating to all our investors in different channels with a consistent message. And what will happen next, and what we have started to do as well, is to ensure we do more follow-ups than we normally do, just to ensure we are on top of our outstanding loan portfolio. And continue to really review any contingency plans that we have for every single loans. So what different exit routes exist, etc. And I would also like to ensure everyone here that we are open as normal. So if you have any questions whatsoever, you can always call us or send us an email. Some market insights. I think when we talk to borrowers in this situation, which is challenging, I think my impression at least is that most borrowers are calmer than I expected them to be. I think the key risk that most borrowers see so far is really related to construction risk. What happens if I can't get materials, if my people get sick? And I think this quote from BRF Lovehusen, which was the largest tranche that we have ever done, which was closed on Monday this week, summarized it quite well. So the houses are currently built in the factory. If delivery problems occur, we can replace them locally. So that's a contingency plan. But since the entire project is sold with binding agreements, and most of the buyers are families with children, where a delay can lead to major problems for many people, reducing the risk of delay is our top priority. I think this summarizes quite well the mood among our borrowers. But of course, short term, sales risk is also going to increase. Long term, it's very difficult to say. If there becomes a deep recession, this asset class will not be immune either. But all loans that we do have some form of underlying security. For instance, in this case, we have a first senior property pledge in this asset. So there's always an underlying collateral for any loans that we issue at Kameo. When it comes to investors, so last week, during the very turbulent times, we were able to close the largest tranche we've done so far. Few investors changed or withdraw their bid during the last week, very volatile market situations. Fewer new investors registered on our site, but we have a few, and traffic increased. And yesterday, we were able to also fully fund a loan on our platform. I think I need to speed up a little bit here. But what if a loan defaults? So I think here it's basically a 5-step process. I think the first one is really key, and that is that you have done your homework. So having done a thorough credit assessment of the case is absolutely key. But then if a loan is at risk of defaulting, we will work with the borrowers to find a solution with them, because we are in this together, and we work with them to find a solution. That can be, for instance, that maybe you need to accept a lower price, or we can find some other solution regarding the structure of the loan. If, however, a loan defaults, we will hand over to the enforcement authorities. In Sweden and Norway, Kameo will be managing the debt recovery process with our in-house lawyers. In Norway, that's being outsourced to Lindorf, because it's a regulatory requirement in Norway to have it in that way. And importantly, if that happens, we will do frequent and transparent communications throughout the entire process to investors. And so far, we have done 235 loans. We have had 6 defaults. 5 loans has been fully repaid. on top with penalty fees. So, and the 6th case is currently in process. So far we have 0 confirmed credit losses. I think that's a good record, but that doesn't mean it will not happen in the future. But it proves that this model has worked in the past. But in this situation, I just wanted to reiterate, it's very important to diversify your portfolio. And that's true in all asset classes, I think, but here as well. So we recommend, as an investor, that you invest in at least 10 different loans. When looking at the data on our platform, the average investor have invested in, on average, 13 loans. So investors are keen and understand the concept of diversification. So last section is Kameo as an investment alternative. Today at Kameo, we have 96 active loans with monthly interest payments. So that means that every month, 96 loans generate an interest payment. So what does it mean? So we have tried to kind of illustrate this with this chart here. So this is how it looks like during the last 30 days. So on the bars, you have the number of loans that has yielded interest, and on the area below, you see the amount of interest that we have administered, that borrowers has paid to investors. So as you can see on this chart here, every day there's been an interest payment coming out during the last 13 days, and we have had up to 17 loans in one single day that have yielded an interest payment. And as I said in the beginning, the average return we've had so far has been 9.4%. So if we compare, so this is 2 weeks old now, this chart. We are the deep blue line here. So 9.4%. That is that has performed better than both OMX, a high yield fund, and of course better than a money market fund during this time period. Our performance to date, we've done 235 loans. We have raised 587 million in total lending volume. We have an average return of 9.4%. So far, we have 0 confirmed credit losses. And just to summarize, if you find this interesting, so Kameo is a lending platform for secured corporate loans. We enable private and corporate investors to lend money directly to small and medium-sized companies. And this is, I think, a good complement to your existing savings with low barriers to build a well-diversified loan portfolio. So at our site, you can invest from 500 kronors and upwards. And you will receive monthly interest payments, and it's free of charge. And in times of this, I also would like to stress the last point. This is not just a good investment alternative. You will also support the growth of local entrepreneurs, which will be very, very important in times like this. So if you find this interesting, it's really easy to get started. So it takes a couple of minutes to sign up with Bank ID, and then you're off to go. So with that, I just wanted to say, welcome to Camille.
Hi. Yes, then I thought we should do some questions.
Yeah.
On one of your slides, you had an example where the maximum duration was 18 months.
Yeah.
So what would happen if that project was failed to meet that deadline? It will go past that. What will happen then?
So then we will act as a representative on behalf of all investors to find the best possible solution that is in their interest. So if we believe that maybe prolonging that a couple of months is the best interest, that could be an option. If that's not an option, we can then look for other alternative. It could be a refinancing loan, or in worst case, it could mean that the loan goes into default. But I also would like to really emphasize that all these different options is on a case-by-case basis, because we would like to find a solution that is in the best interest of our investors. So it's difficult to say what the general package is, but that's one thing. But on that topic though, when it says 18 months, so as part of contingency planning when we do loans, 18 months is the maximum. the expected duration is shorter. So there is already a built-in safety margin for the loans that we have on our platform.
Okay, so what is the average duration? Then?
The average duration we've had so far on loans has been 13 months, but that's of course depending on what type of project it is. So the average duration is 13 months, and for the full loan portfolio out of this all completed projects.
Yeah, given the economic situation in the world now, how does the pipe look like? And how do you see fewer projects coming onto your platform? What do you think?
No, that's a really good question. So what we have seen during the last week is really a strong inflow of new loan applications from companies, which is understandable. But also when it comes to our pipeline in the short term, as you saw in the presentation, many of the loans we have are divided into tranches. So there is will be a flow of loans coming in, and also many of the borrowers that we work with, they are repeat customers. They come back to us. So right now the pipeline looks strong, but on the other hand, it's also about matching that with capital and available capital. I think it's likely to be the challenging situation in the short term.
Can we then go into a little bit how you assess the credit risk and what type of checks you do to enable these companies don't go into default?
So I think that's a key thing in our. So we have a dedicated person, a credit analyst, that do the initial credit assessment. He will look into the project, the people behind the project, reference project, the financial situation, the exit situation, the market situation, and form an opinion. And then we have an external credit committee, which then is a second external eye that assesses it again and approve the credit rating. So that's how we do our credit assessment at Kameo. And in this credit assessment process, we spend time. Usually we go up to meet not just the borrower, but we go on site to see how it looks like. We really spend time to understand the loan in detail, which I think has been key, at least in the past, not having any confirmed credit losses so far. So we take that very seriously at Kameo.
Do you have like a ratio how many you approve compared to how many you deny?
So I would say out of those incoming that apply on a platform, I would say, if not more, 90% we decline. So we work with those 10% of cases, roughly.
And finally, as a last question, you seem to be focused a lot on properties as your focus area. If you look further into the future, is there any other area where you think you might expand to deliver this kind of service? Yeah,
it could be. But I think it's important for us, since we only do secured loans, that we believe we can have a strong, a good underlying asset for the loan as collaterals, and therefore in the beginning construction and loans has been a good fit for us, but we will see what we'll do in the future. But I would envision that we will keep a strong focus on this even in going forward.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.